Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah and this is Mariah's Moods. Welcome to our third edition of the It's a Mood TBR game. We're going to be playing the game to build our TBR for the month of December. I am very nervous to play this game. If you haven't, go watch my November It's a Mood TBR game video and you will see that the game was very, very mean and unkind to me last month. And I'm sad to say that I was not successful in completing my TBR from last month. But you know, I had a lot going against me, but that'll be in another video when I do my wrap up. But I'm very, very excited for the month of December. I think that I'm gonna have a better gameplay this month. I think that I'm gonna make some better choices if I get an opportunity to kind of pick a this or that situation. But we shall see. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start our gameplay. Hey guys, so welcome to the third round of It's a Mood TBR game. We've got the game set up, ready to go. I've got my little car where it needs to begin. But before we actually get into the first spin, we need to do a book token check-in and figure out how I am actually starting this game this month. Okay, so at the end of our last round, I ended with 12 book tokens so far in the game. Remember that for every 3 book tokens I earn, that is a book that I can purchase new. I need to go ahead and do a quick reevaluation of how November went, which November was a hot damn mess. Unfortunately, I did not finish my TBR at all, but I did finish 4 books, 3 of which were on my TBR. And given that I had no audiobooks, I am pretty proud of that. But because I did not finish all of my TBR from last month, I am going to have to add a spin to this month. But I do get to collect a token for each of the books I did finish. So I did finish 4 books in the month of November. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1, 2, 3, 4 tokens to our existing total, which would bring me up to 16 book tokens, which doing pretty good. Pretty happy about that one. Okay, so we've got 6 spins today instead of 5. So we ended on this spot right here at the end of our game last month, so that's where we're gonna begin. Let's go ahead and do spin number 1. Okay, and that is 4, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. So we landed on a mood tile, so I'm going to go ahead and grab from the Moody card stack, give it a good little shuffle, and we'll see what the first prompt of the month will be. Don't waste your money, pick a book of the month book. All right, so got lots of options from that one because I am terrible at reading my books of the month. So for this spin, we got Don't Waste Your Money, pick a book of the month book, which I had quite to choose from because I will be very honest, I am not very good at reading my book of the month picks in the same month that I get the book. So I fall a little bit behind, but I decided to pick up Wayward by Amelia Hart. I think this might be like a Goodreads finalist, and I just absolutely love this cover. So, you know, I figure why not go for it this month, and it's relatively short, so I think that this would be a great pick. Don't know much about this book, but I think it's just following like 3 different timelines within a generation of these women and just resilience that happens. I think we have one kind of set in modern day, we have one in the 1600s, and then one woman that we're following in the 40s during World War II. So I think it's some historical fiction, and it just looks absolutely stunning. And I love a good book about female resistance, especially within a single family. So looking forward to getting into Wayward. Okay, so let's go ahead and do spin number 2. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I've landed on a stop sign. It is the last stop sign of the game, which means I need to pick this one right here. Let's go ahead and see what this one has in store. You are being forced to sacrifice your powers. Pay 2 book tokens to keep your powers, or sacrifice your powers and choose a nightmare prompt. Oh my gosh. Okay, last month I was greedy and I did not pay the 2 book tokens, and I feel like karma came in, and that's why last month's game was so terrible to me. So I'm going to learn from my mistakes, and I'm gonna pay the 2 book tokens to keep it moving and hopefully not have such a terrible month. So I'm going to take from my little stack and remove 2 of these tokens, throw them back into the book token bin, and go ahead and do another spin. So spin number 3. 2. Okay, so which direction do I want to go? You know what? Let's just go this way. 1, 2. That ends on another mood card. So I'm gonna pick from the stack. Give it a good shuffle. There are many sides to every story. Pick a retelling. All right, so we got there are many sides to every story. Pick a retelling. I'm going to go ahead and add a book that has been on my TBR, I know once, if not twice. And I'm hoping this is the month to do it because I do really want to read this book. The mood hasn't struck for me to actually finish this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and add Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I got this a few months ago, and actually I had it signed by her when I went to a book signing, and ever since hearing her talk about this book, I've wanted to read it, but for whatever reason, every time I pick it up, I just am not mentally there. And I don't think that has anything to do with this book. I think it's just a me thing. But hopefully December is the time that I read this book. This is a Cleopatra and Mark Antony retelling. So we're following Princess Calla, who enters into this king's games, and the winner of the games gets a lot of money. Well, Calla is on the path of revenge because the king basically killed her family, and she thinks the closest she can get to him is during these games. So she is joining the games to hopefully assassinate the king. But she has to team up with Anton, who is joining the games hopefully to win money so that he can provide healthcare to one of his very, very close friends who I think is like currently dying of some type of illness. So they have to team up together to basically win these games. I don't really know, but I know it's Cleopatra and Mark Antony, and I do love a good like trial situation, some fantasy, and I do know this is Chloe Gong's first kind of adult fantasy, so I really, really want to get into this one, and I'm gonna challenge myself to actually finish this book in the month of December. All right, spin number 4. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is another mood pick. I'm gonna pick up my mood cards. Once again, give it another shuffle. Ooh, love can sometimes be dark and dangerous. Pick a dark romance. Yes, 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 yes. Excited for this one. So we've got love can sometimes be dark and dangerous. Pick a dark romance. I'm so excited for this pick. Listen, I have so many dark romances saved on my Kindle, but I really wanted to try and find something that was on my shelves, and I don't really have like a lot of the traditional dark romances that we tend to hear about, but I did recently get this book, and I think it will qualify as a dark romance based on kind of the premise that I've heard, and that is going to be Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. From the premise of this book, I'm pretty sure it's a dark romance because I think there's like every possible trigger warning in this book. So if you are interested in it, please check trigger warnings. From what I gather, we've got basically this couple or this girl who is unfortunately abducted, and her like sister's fiance is also, and they go through this horrific situation together, and they kind of trauma bond, and it's dark and it's apparently spicy, and yeah, all I can say is check trigger warnings if you're interested in reading this book. But I have heard that it is fantastic, so I do want to read it. I'm going to say it's dark romance just because of what the two of them go through. I don't know if our characters are morally gray or just like the situation itself is dark, so we shall see. Excited for this one. All right, spin number 5. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Man, I almost got a Moody read. That would have been nice, but that's okay. We've got a Mood card again. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up once again and shuffle these up. See what we come up with. Seasonal depression, I don't know her. Pick a book with seasonal vibes. Oh, that's so perfect for December. So this spin has actually taught me something. Clearly, homegirl needs to proofread before she makes her cards, because this is the second error I found in my cards. But we got seasonal depression, I don't know her. Pick a book with seasonal vibes. So December, perfect, because it is winter. So we want snow, we want cold, and all of that fun jazz. So I decided to pick up The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This book has been on my shelf for so many years, and I have wanted to read it so many times. I've started it and I've put it down, not because I don't like it, just because, again, it's a me thing. I have to be in the mood to read a book, hence Mariah's moods. But I think this is the perfect time to do it because I believe it is set in winter. I mean, we're in Russia. So basically this is, I think, a take on some Russian folklore. So we're following Valessa, whose mother has raised her on a lot of the classic Russian fairy tales. Well, her mother, unfortunately, passes away, and her father brings in a second wife. But the second wife, I think, is really suspicious and might be maybe a little mythical, or something is more than it seems when it comes to her, and Valessa has to figure out kind of what's going on. That's basically all I know about this book. I could be off, but if you've been around, you know I don't like knowing a lot about my books when I go into them, but I've heard it was great. I do like Catherine Arden. I've read a couple of her middle grade novels, and so I'm excited to see what she has with a more mature audience in mind. All right, and now for our final spin of the month of December. So far the game has been so kind to me. Hopefully it stays that way. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have a blind pick. So basically what that means is I'm going to pick like 3 or 4 books that I potentially want to read this month and just kind of close my eyes, scroll through the spines, and just see what I land on. And that will be the book that we will add to our TBR. All right, so our final spin is a blind pick. So I have chosen 4 books that I would like to get to in the month of December. One of them is a repeat because, again, I'm still very excited about it, but I have chosen Tress in the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I picked up Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and we're gonna bring this one back, Malice by John Gwynne. I really wanted to get to it last month, but you know, no audiobooks and no time, just could not get to it. So I'm going to kind of shuffle these up and just kind of rub my hand along the spine and then eventually stop, and we'll see kind of where we end up with. So hopefully this is in frame, and I'm gonna do a little more mixing because I kind of just peeked. Okay, and let's go. And stop. I guess I got what I wanted. So we're adding this one to the month again, Malice by John Gwynne. Still don't know much about it. War is coming, humans and giants, I think. And I just know it's a fantastic series from what I've heard, and I just want to read it. But you know what? I get an audiobook this month, so that might help me get through this chunker. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, so that is the end of our gameplay for the month of December. Next month, we will begin at this spot and keep on playing till we finish the game. All right, so here it is. This is the TBR for the month of December. I'm pretty happy with it. I think the game was much kinder to me this month, which I actually need. December is going to be a whirlwind. It is going to be busy for so many reasons, so I'm glad that we've landed on this list. As always, I would love for you guys to play along with me. So if you want to build a TBR based on the roles that we've gotten today, I would love to hear what you guys come up with. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, do all of the things. I hope you're having a wonderful time out there and that your day is full of good moods and good vibes. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!